Alright guys, it's delivery day. As you can see, I just received a brand new transmission from GM. If you're just joining us, well, welcome to the build. I purchased this 2024 Buick Enclave with only 6,000 kilometers on the odometer. And yes, it needs a transmission already. Had to pull out the engine and transmission assembly twice on this vehicle, hoping that this second time will be the last time. But before this vehicle goes to the frame shop, I'm going to show you some more damage on this vehicle that I did not show you guys earlier in the video series. Over on the driver's side over here, you can see the door is really banged up, and it doesn't stop there. It goes into the quarter panel. That's super unfortunate. And let's get a wide zoom of this. You can see how bad that is. So obviously I would love to get this replaced, but unfortunately you can't just get the quarter panel. You have to buy the whole unit side, and that's over $2,000. I'm not looking to spend that kind of money. So the goal is to try to get this repaired as good as possible, and we'll see what happens. But for sure, the door has to be replaced because it's just cost effective to do that. We are going to try to save the quarter panel like I just mentioned. So that's the first thing I'm going to be getting done today. As you can see, I have a replacement door over here. So let's go ahead and strip this because we need to get it ready for paint and then throw it on the vehicle. And now guys, as you can see, I have the damaged door over there. Sometimes when you work alone, you're gonna come up with the best way to get things done. So I was able to use the floor jack to hold this in place while I remove all the hardware. That really helped a lot. Actually a lot better than I actually thought it would work. So I'm super happy about that. And now the Buick is looking like a Jeep Wrangler with no doors in there. But as you can see, the damage on the quarter panel is actually not very bad. With the door out, you can see it's mostly just the skin. A little bit in here, but nothing that cannot be fixed. This main area where the reinforcement piece would be is not affected in any way. So that's really good. But now over here is our replacement door. I thought it was the same color as this one, but it is not the same color, unfortunately. It looks like it's the same, but it's definitely not. So this is going to need to get painted. So when I install this on the vehicle, I'm going to need to strip everything on the inside, so we can paint both the inside and the outside. So without much more talking, let's dive back to work. And guys, as you can see, I now have the door on, and now it's more obvious. You can see the color difference. They're both gray, but they're just different shades of gray. Over here on the quarter panel, you can see exactly what the body line should look like. And if I scoot over here, you can see some decent damage, but definitely not the worst. It's good up here, and then it starts to taper down, and then it gets better towards the bottom too.
A few moments later.
So as you can see, I have the vehicle on jack stands, and that is because we're once again gonna have to remove the entire engine transmission assembly on the Buick Enclave. And that's because after a whole bunch of research, talking to a whole bunch of transmission shops and the dealership, I've come to the conclusion that that is the best course of action, which is replacing the transmission on this vehicle. There are two main parts as per the service bulletin that needs to be replaced when a vehicle or when any of these vehicles with this transmission experiences this kind of problem. The problem is that those two parts are over $2,000 and they're in back order with no ETA. And I do not have that much time to have this vehicle sitting for a part. I don't know when I'm gonna get it. So what I've gone ahead and done is purchased a complete brand new transmission assembly. And I gotta tell you, it was not cheap, but it is the only way to move forward with this build. I found a couple used options, but this vehicle only has 6,000 kilometers. And the lowest mileage one I could find was over 70,000 kilometers. So that's a no-go in my books. And with the brand new transmission, I do get the 3-year, 160,000 kilometer warranty. So I'm okay with that. I've ordered that transmission. It's almost in. Now my goal is to hop on this one and get this transmission out and ready, because GM wants a $4,000 call charge for my transmission. And since I'm not looking to pay them any additional money, even though I know I will be returning this one, I want to get this out and ready so I can just go exchange it and pay for my cost of the transmission, which is a lot of money, like I already said. So let's get to work. Well guys, this is a familiar sight. As you can see, I now have the engine and transmission assembly out of the vehicle. And if we go over here, I have set the engine and transmission, well, the subframe, on 4 jack stands. I've also supported the engine right in the middle on another jack stand, because it looks like the only thing securing this engine assembly to the subframe is this mount over here and one back here. And those 2 mounts are on the transmission. There's nothing securing the engine itself to the subframe. So if I go ahead and separate the transmission from the engine, it's going to be very bad. The engine is going to literally fall out the bottom of the subframe. So what I've gone ahead and done is strap it on all 4 corners to the subframe to hopefully secure the engine to the subframe when I separate the transmission. But before I can go ahead and separate the transmission, there's a whole bunch of stuff to be disconnected. The power transfer unit in the back over there has to be disconnected. The front transmission mount over there has to be removed. Then I'll proceed to remove all the bolts that's securing the bell housing to the engine. So now guys, it's the time that I've been personally waiting for, which is separating this transmission. Engine assembly is down here. I have the hoist securing or holding up the transmission right now. It is still connected to the engine assembly. I have all the hardware that goes from the flex plate to the torque converter removed. I had to obviously remove the exhaust manifold to remove the starter to get to those bolts. So all of that is out over there. Gone around to the more harder parts and removed all the hardware that secures the transmission to the engine assembly. So right now there's just only 3 hardwares, and there's one over there, one there, and one there. So when I remove that, ideally this whole assembly should separate from the engine if I've done everything right. And then I still have quite a bit of components to get off of this transmission before it's ready to go back to the dealership as a core. And as you can see, after a whole lot of work, the transmission is now separated. That was no easy task doing this by myself, but as you can see, it's over there. I had to literally pick it out of that area and put it on the floor over here. Very, very heavy, I gotta tell you. I had to take apart a whole lot of stuff to be able to get this out, because there's a bolt that goes right in here. And in order to get that bolt out, you have to remove the power transfer unit. So this is what makes the vehicle all-wheel drive. So that had to be dropped. That's also pretty heavy. I had to remove the steering stabilizer, both axles, and the sway bar. As you can see, all those parts are over here. Massive, massive work, man, I gotta tell you. Now I need to drain this completely, put it in the vehicle, secure it, and get it ready to go to the dealership. But that's all for tonight, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. I just received a brand new transmission from GM. In this video, I'm hopefully going to get this vehicle running and driving for the very first time. Let's go ahead and crack this open, transfer whatever parts that's left on that one to this, and get it ready to be mated to the engine assembly. I have GM specified tool. I just seen this hardware over here, so I actually don't think you need to remove this cardboard. It's my first time opening a brand new transmission, and hopefully it's going to be the last time too. So let's get that going first. And there we have it, all fully secured. I can't wait to open this up. It's going to be brand new. So hopefully it should take care of the issues I was having on this vehicle. Only 6,000 kilometers on the original transmission. It could have possibly been repaired, there's no doubt about it. But the two parts that GM recommends you replace for the failure that this transmission has experienced are both on back order. We have you guys, the brand new transmission. It looks brand new compared to this one, that's for sure, but you can clearly see it. This was not cheap by any means necessary. So if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, drop a like, go purchase some merch to help support the channel, and we'll keep getting builds like this. It's time to get this transmission out of the crate because the old one needs to go back in there, back to the dealership for a call, so I can get my over $4,000 back, because that money is still much needed to get this vehicle back on the road. Found this to be the best way to get this out. Guys, you will not believe what happened. I came into the garage this morning and the engine assembly was on the ground. Not good. I have like 6 jack stands securing this engine and somehow it still fell. So I had to come up with some way to be able to pick it back up. As you can see, there's lots of straps on here. And now I'm using my trusty motorcycle jack right over there, and it has the engine secured really good. The only damaged parts I found is this connector from it smacking against the subframe over here. As long as that's the extent of the damage, I'm happy. I can replace this connector or fix it if I really need. I'm really concerned about the oil pan being cracked. Obviously, we won't know until we actually start the vehicle, run it up. Metal will expand and contract, and we're gonna see. So I really hope there's no damage to the oil pan, because that's the first part that's gonna hit the ground. Super unfortunate, but it is what it is. Sometimes you learn from your mistakes. Even though I felt like I have enough jack stands securing it, stuff still happens. So now it's time to go ahead and start mating the transmission assembly to the engine. It's gonna be quite a battle because it's just me as usual. So I'm not exactly sure I'm gonna lift this up in there, but I'm gonna figure something out. You know, that was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I currently have the bell housing mated to the engine assembly, just 2 bolts loosely securing it in place. And now there's 6 bolts that goes from the flywheel to the torque converter. So I'm going to go ahead and secure the 6 bolts, then secure all the bolts that goes on the bell housing to the engine assembly, and we're good to go. Alright, so all the 6 bolts that goes from the flywheel to the torque converter is now fully secured and torqued to specification. So now I am going to go ahead and install the starter motor, secure that in place, and we should be good to go. And here we have the starter that's going to go in there. Well, guys, I am making really good progress in the assembly of this unit. As you obviously know, the transmission or bell housing is now fully mated to the engine assembly. Back here, I've also installed a power transfer unit, which is similar to a differential, but not really. But at this point, I can't do any more work, and that's because I just found another hidden damage. Brand new transmission, as you guys obviously know. While installing the power transfer unit, as you can see, there's a bracket that goes from this transfer unit to the rear engine mount. And right on that bracket, if the camera is going to focus, there is a crack right there. There is a really nasty crack. I'm not sure if you can really see it. Yeah, right there. There's a nasty crack. So it only makes sense to have this replaced while it's out of the vehicle. So while trying all these parts, I'm obviously double checking, making sure I do not miss anything. And that's how I found it. Really unfortunate. I was really hoping to have this assembly prepared and ready to go back in the vehicle tomorrow. But that's okay. And that's just life. Sometimes you have big plans and then you have unexpected mishaps just like this. So I'm going to call it a night. I'm obviously going to go do my research, see what the cost of this part is and how quick I can get it to enable me get this thing ready. Right, so it's another day in the garage. I'm going to hop back on the Buick Enclave. I left off working on this assembly over here. And as you can see, I pointed out the bracket that's broken over there. Unfortunately, I cannot get that quick enough. The dealership has given me an ETA of 7 to 10 business days, so about 2 weeks plus or minus. And I'm not really excited to wait that long, so I am going to move forward with the assembly or with the reassembly, putting everything back together, getting it ready to go back in the vehicle. Whenever that part does come in, it is going to be difficult without a doubt to get it replaced in the vehicle, but that's what's going to have to happen because I don't want to wait 2 weeks and have this just sitting here and not be able to, because I really need to get this vehicle done. I have so many other projects lined up, and I just really want to get this done. Let's get back to work, buttoning this up. Well, guys, as you can see, everything is now fully connected. This whole assembly is ready to go back on the vehicle. It's going to be a bit of a battle getting it over there, but for sure I can get it done. But now, fingers crossed, I'm really hoping and praying that everything goes the way it's supposed to. This vehicle is going to drive and there's going to be no other unforeseen issues, because that would not be good. I know these videos make it seem like everything has happened really fast, but this takes a whole lot of time. It's just crazy. It takes so much time to get this stuff done, and it would really suck. I don't want to think about it. I really don't want to think about it. Everything's going to go good. So let me dive right back into it and hopefully get this thing at least mated to the vehicle tonight, and then tomorrow hopefully get our first start and hopefully our first drive. Well guys, I've made really big progress. Engine is now back in engine bay. It's not fully fitted. When I do engine removal and install, I like to do it in a very specific way so everything is lined up properly. There's no excessive wear to the bushings. So that pretty much that's what I'm trying to do right now. So first, all the 4 subframe bolts are loosely fitted. The transmission mount over here, front and rear, is loosely fitted. Nothing is torqued whatsoever. Over here, I have torqued this one down, fully secured. I'm about to do the same thing, and this is the main benefit of doing it this way. So if I go in here, you can see all the bolts line up. I barely have to move anything, and I can just throw those in there. It is without a doubt the best way I've found to do these installs and to make sure everything lines up 100%, and that's what I'm going to keep on doing. So I'm not going to bore you guys too much. I'm going to go ahead and throw all the hardware for that driver's side engine mount. Make sure everything is fully secured. I'm going to call it a night because it's pretty late. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow, we're going to hop back into this, start securing all the hoses, wiring harness, hopefully get to be able to start this vehicle and get to drive it for the very first time.
Perfect.
Right, brand new day. You might have just seen me load the transmission core into the vehicle. That was a bit of a battle. I had to do some outside the box thinking. I'm not sure if I'm going to include that clip or not, but the goal is to get this vehicle started and hopefully driving. So I'm not going to waste any time because I'm really eager to get this vehicle moving. That's what I'm going to hop onto right now. Let's get to work. Alrighty guys, brand new transmission. As you can see, I just picked this up today from the dealership. Even though I did throw in brand new transmission fluid in the other transmission, I do not want to reuse the same transmission fluid just in case it's contaminated in any way, and it would suck to mess up the brand new transmission. So we have brand new fluid over here. Let's toss it in and we can get going. And just like that, guys, as you can see, a ton of work has been done on the Enclave. It's almost fully put together. Airbox is in, all the wiring or the necessary wiring is connected, all the grounds are secured, the cooling system is in, rad shutter, everything is good over here. I have also connected the ECU, fuse box, the battery is in. It's not just connected just yet. All the cooling system is too dry, as you can obviously see. There is no coolants. I have the brand new washer reservoir. This just came in. That's now installed. So looking really good. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and pressure test the coolant system. Make sure there's no leaks, and I've secured all the hoses properly. Refuel the coolant system. I have also topped up the brand new transmission, as you guys seen before. So that's really good. Obviously, when I start it up, run through the gears, the oil level is going to come down. So I am going to need to top that off. But we're going to worry about that when we get there. The next thing is to figure out the coolant system. Without further ado, let's get back to work. And now, guys, we have coolants, we have battery connected, it's topped up, everything is good to go. Fuel line, hoses, grounds, electrical. Now it's time to get into the vehicle and start this. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit nervous because, as you guys can tell, a lot of work has gone into this vehicle. Also has a brand new transmission. I'm just crossing my fingers that everything is gonna go right, because I cannot not have everything go right, pretty much. But now in the vehicle, we do have power. I hold it for 10 seconds just to get the fuel pump pumping and things moving. All right, here goes nothing. And as you can see, she starts up. That took a mission, but look at the dash. It's all lit up with all sorts of codes. But that's not important right now. Is the transmission gonna shift? When I do try to shift it, I need to run this operating temperature first because it's a brand new transmission. The fluid has to circulate into the transmission cooler up front and all that stuff. And then I'm going to open up the drain port on the other side. The transmission fluid has to be coming out from there, and then you know you have enough transmission fluid. So I will top it up as required and go from there. I also have the scan tool hooked up, and I'm trying to perform a transmission service fast alert. Obviously, since we have a brand new transmission in here, we have to perform this before we can move this vehicle and hopefully get it into the dealership. But I keep having this fault code, so I think I'm just gonna send it, fingers crossed nothing bad happens, because usually you're supposed to do this first before you should get it moving. But as you can see, I keep having this fault code over here, or this error message. So I think I would just slowly back forward and try to put it in reverse and see what happens. So obviously, as you can see, the vehicle is almost at operating temperature. It's not going to get all the way there because I do not have the fan connected, because there's no ambient temperature sensor connected, and the fan is going to go on high speed, and I don't need that noise right now. But vehicle is running, and if I go and I put it in drive, the e-brakes go off and you can tell it's in drive, and it goes forward, no problem. Yeah, goes forward. Now let's put it in reverse. Okay, I think that actually felt really good. So now, oh yeah, it actually goes in reverse. Oh my goodness, wow, my heart was pounding so much. It actually goes in reverse, no problem. No clunking sound like before when it was in drive, and now it actually moves in reverse under its own power. So oh my goodness, still in reverse. Before, the reverse lights will be flashing, but now it stays solid. And you can see I'm gonna close up the space over there. Wow, look at that. It's the first time it's done this, literally the first time it's done this. But for some reason the steering is really stiff. I'm not sure why that is. I do have a fault code on the dash that says steering assist is reduced. I'm not sure why that. Maybe it's a battery problem, because as you can see, the dash is still lit up. So I think I'm gonna go for a quick scoot around, see if I can get this thing moving properly. Okay, I have no headlight, but goes in drive, and let's see. We're moving. We got power. Getting out of here. Like I said, the steering is pretty solid. Look at that, guys, look at that. First time moving under its own power. Guys, look at this. I didn't even move 50 100 feet and all the lights just went off on the dash. The steering wheel is a lot better now. I don't think it's all the way there yet, but it's actually lots better. And wow, I'm just super happy. The dash there's no fault codes, not even a check engine light. But we still have that steering assist reduced. You see that just came back, but we don't even have a check engine light on right now, which is pretty good. But look at this, guys. We're driving. The heads-up display, I'm not sure you can see it, but it has a heads-up display, 18 kilometers per hour right now. And look at this. I am so happy. Unbelievably happy. I can't even speak. I am just super amazed, guys. This has been a battle. Oh my goodness, it's driving so good. Steering is now loose and working the way it should be. Wow, this is just brilliant. This is just brilliant. Oh, this is so good. Look at this. I'm not sure how much of this is gonna go in the footage, but I just keep going around the block just because it's wow. This has been a mission. So much work, and she's good. She's good. Absolutely no lights. Right, guys, it's a new day, and yes, the garage is a mess. I don't want to hear nothing about it. A lot of work has been done. I was in here till over midnight yesterday. So anyway, we officially performed our first test drive on the Buick Enclave, which is insane. I've had this vehicle for so many months, and we actually drove it for the very, very first time last night. It was definitely a dream come true to me because so much work has gone into this particular vehicle. Obviously, the YouTube videos does not cut it. It doesn't show how much work. A lot of things get cut out because obviously you got to keep it interesting. You got to keep the pace going, all that fancy stuff. But I'm just so happy. But obviously I come into the vehicle today, and once again, the battery is kaput, gone, gonzo, non-existent, no power whatsoever. The lights are just flashing. I went and I picked up another battery off the charger. Same thing. It won't even boost that current battery in there. So what I've done is picked up a replacement battery, which was a lot more expensive, but it's better to just be done with it once and for all. Now I'm gonna go ahead and test the battery in the vehicle. I gotta bring back one of this as a call, but way beside the point, and get this started once again and just let it run and breathe and just let it just live, because it's been on the table for so long, being dissected, opened up, and fully put back together a second time, and hopefully the very, very last time. So I'm not gonna talk too much. Let's throw the battery in the vehicle. Now with everything figured out with the battery, I've installed the fenders on both sides because I'm getting ready to get this vehicle to the body shop. We obviously need to get this painted and fix the damage on the quarter panel. Also gone in the trailer and brought out a brand new bumper. I purchased this is a brand new OEM bumper from GM. I only picked up the upper bumper because they want an insane amount for the lower bumper. My lower bumper is over there. It does have some damage. I am going to be fixing that. Have that separated so I can perform the repair I need to perform over there. I'm going to do that off camera. I'm going to show you the damages before and after, and then we can throw it in the vehicle with the upper bumper at the same time. Well guys, it's currently Saturday. This Buick should have been gone to the body shop on Monday. So that's 6 days that this vehicle has sat doing absolutely nothing. And that's because we need to get that damage on the quarter panel repaired. But unfortunately, the owner of the body shop did not let me know that the main guy that does their body work was away. He assured me that I was going to get picked up on Monday. Then he said Tuesday. Then he said Wednesday. And it's currently Saturday. So that's kind of the things that you deal with working on different builds with different people that you need to outsource certain work to, and they're not as reliable as you expect them to be, and then you end up coming short. So unfortunately, that is not going to get done until when the gentleman comes back March 20th. So I'm currently at a standstill because they are the only one I trust to get this done properly and hopefully save the quarter panel. But while I wait, I've decided it's pretty much better to get the ball rolling. So what I'm going to do is remove the fender that I just installed, remove the hood hinges, and drop that off at the body shop and paint these pieces. And then hopefully I can pick it up sometime the coming week and have it all installed. So very quickly, I'm going to take all of these parts off the vehicle so I can go drop it off at the body shop. Well, there we have it, guys. Everything is now taken off the vehicle. No fender, no hood, no fender on the other side, obviously. I have everything loaded in the trailer. I'm gonna go drop it off. And that's gonna be a wrap for this video. Hopefully the next time that I make a video on this vehicle, it's gonna be the final video. Everything is gonna be taken care of. The paint work on the front end, the rear body work that needs to be done to the quarter panel, painting that quarter panel, and the replacement door I installed. That is my hope. But sometimes things don't go as planned, and that's just what it is. It's life. But on that note, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you do know what to do. Be sure to take care, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.